Hi there, this is Chef Fehmi here today, and I'm teaching you how to stew, getting ready for a probably very cold winter to cozy up and snuggle up on the couch. Stewing 101. Let's go over the very simple steps, yet very effective. It's very important to start with a very inexpensive cut of meat. I'm using chuck today. Then you brown the meat very nicely to sear in the juices. You make sure you're not going to have an overcrowded pan at the bottom. Slow is the key. Slowly simmering it. Use your best red wine, the wine that you would enjoy most to eat it with, and there's nothing but success ahead of you. So let's go over the ingredients. We have chuck beef. We have some flour to coat it with. We got some red bliss potatoes, carrots, julienne sticks, roughly chopped white onions, butter, bay leaf, fresh thyme, fresh parsley for garnish, fresh garlic, salt and pepper to your liking, to your taste, button mushrooms or any other kind of mushrooms you like, and some tomato paste. All right, so let's start by seasoning our meat. We're gonna throw in some kosher salt. This is the first seasoning. We're gonna re-season the dish as we go. And freshly ground pepper. We're gonna toss the whole thing, make sure everything is incorporated. And we're going to dust this with about half a cup of flour. The flour is going to thicken up the dish. And instead of adding a classic French roux to the dish, the roux will be right within. And that's ready for a hot pan. All right, here we go. Our pan is nice and hot. We're going to melt some butter and immediately add the meat, but not to overcrowd the pan. We're searing the meat on all sides. That's going to create a nice crust. It's going to thicken up the sauce at the end to a nice silky sauce with nice and mellow, soft, melt in your mouth steak or beef, or whatever cut of meat. It's very important for the meat not to be overcrowding the pan. That's how we get a nice crust and nice browning on it. Now we have a nice brown seared meat, and that's going to help seal in all the juices inside the meat and keep it nice and moist when you eat it, and at the same time contributing factor to the nice thickening sauce at the end. The butter and the flour act like a roux, classic French roux, to tie everything together. This is going to be delicious. I can smell it already. Nice and nutty. Now that our meat is happily browning in our pan, we're going to chop up some onions and add them to the pan. This is a rough cut. And then 2 garlic cloves. We're going to smush them to release some natural oils here. And everything is going to go in the pan. I can already start smelling the stew. And I like my onions to be almost melted down to be part of the sauce. If you like your onions a little crunchier, you can probably put them later on, but I like mine to be completely incorporated in the sauce. Our meat is nice and brown. The onions are caramelizing, and we're going to add some of our best red wine here. There we go. Make it happier. We're going to scrape all these goody bits. That's what the French refer to as the fond, otherwise known as the foundation for the sauce and the flavoring. I'm going to scrape them nicely and let them simmer away for a while. Here we go. Our wine has nicely reduced and the sauce is starting to build up a nice consistency. We're going to add our beef stock, chicken stock if you prefer that, vegetable stock, any stock. You don't have any stock, water would do just fine. We're going to go about a pint Bring it back to the boil and turn it down to simmer. This dish, at this point right now, I can just put it in a 300-degree oven and it'll be braised in the oven. Or if I wish, I could still keep it on the stovetop and keep nurturing it. Our stew has been simmering for quite some time right now, about 45 minutes. We're going to add to it the long sticks of carrots. Our wedges of potatoes. Halved mushrooms and the bay leaf. We're going to give it a stir, lower the heat on it. Well, the one we started is almost there, but it's going to go for another 20 minutes. I have already prepared one that is just missing the final few ingredients, and it's simmering away, nice and tender. We're going to add the final ingredients here. Fresh thyme, about a tablespoon there. Thyme, mushrooms, and red meat go very, very nicely together. Frozen peas, fresh parsley. Let's give it a stir here. The meat is nice and tender. The sauce has thickened beautifully and nice and silky. We're going to taste the seasoning right here. Adjust it as we need. A little more freshly ground pepper. Just a tiny bit of more salt. And our stew is ready. Some people prefer their stew over mashed potatoes. I already have the potatoes in there, so I'm going to serve it with nice crusty sourdough bread. Some other people prefer it with egg noodles. And the choice is yours. Mine is crusty bread. Let's go with our bread right here. This bread will help me soak up all the goodness of that broth, the sauce. Complete marriage between the vegetables, the meat, the aromatics. This is a dish to cozy up with in a winter night over your couch. Very comforting. We are very ready to dish this up. The aroma, the smell of this is absolutely intoxicating. You make sure you get every bit of the goodies, the meat, the potatoes, carrots, the peas, the mushrooms. Give it more fresh, vibrant taste, fresh parsley right here. Couple things of bread right here. I hope I have inspired you to try this recipe of a wonderful beef stew on a cold winter night. But heading into Thanksgiving, what would be dinner without a dessert? I have specially made this pumpkin cheese lemon souffle for you, here for you to try. If you would like the recipe on this, visit the Fall River Herald News/food. I hope I have inspired you to try this recipe for this wonderful beef stew on a cold winter night. And what better way to finish the meal as we head into Thanksgiving with my wonderful pumpkin lemon cheese souffle cake. Enjoy.